So why are we going to be factorising? 3 reasons I can think of off the top of my head. One would be to simplify an algebraic fraction. So if we've got stuff on the top and stuff on the bottom, if we factorise the top, factorise the bottom, then we might see a common factor and be able to cancel it. Another obvious reason is that we want to sketch a polynomial. So a quadratic, a cubic, a quartic, we might want to sketch, and if we get it into factorised form, it's super easy to sketch it. Or, similar reason, we might be wanting to solve an equation. And that could be a polynomial or something like this, equals 0. And if it's in a factorised form, then you kind of got these things bunched together. And if it equals 0, then either this is 0 or this is 0, which is just lovely. So it's a really, really nice form for something to be in. Okay, we're going to look at 2 examples. One of them is factorising a quadratic. That's the dog. And the other one is pulling out a common factor when it's not obvious what that common factor is. Okay. Now the method I'm going to show you for factorising a quadratic is the one that I use. I really like it. If you've got a better method, then feel free to use that. And I'm going to show you at the end a little cheat that we can do. So we don't actually have to use this method. If we've got these coefficients, 24 and 4 and minus 4, we can actually cheat. And I'll show you that in a minute. But first I'm going to show you this method. Okay, it's really good. 1, we're going to multiply A and C together. Secondly, we're going to find the factors of that number which add or subtract to make B. So let's do 1 and 2. 1, we're going to multiply together A and C, 24 times 4. Okay, second, we're going to look at the factors of 96 and see which one we can use to make a 4. So factors of 96, 1 and 96, 2 and 48, 3 and 32, and you can use your calculator for this. Just keep dividing it by things. 4 and 24, 6 and 16. I'm looking for a difference of 4 here. 8 and 12. There it is, 8 and 12. Okay, now that we've found the 8 and the 12, that are factors of 96 that have a difference of 4, we're going to split that 4x up into 12x and 8x. Doesn't matter which way round you write them. You just split up that bx, this is step 3, split up that bx into those 2 bits. Okay, step 4 is we're going to factorise the first 2 and the last 2 terms. So the first 2 terms have a common factor of 12x. And what you're going to find is that the last 2 terms have the same factor coming out here. So I usually write it first and then think about what goes in front. In this case, it's going to be a minus 4. Okay, nearly done. Last step. I'm going to use the fact that if we've got, I've used x plus 2 as an example here. If we've got some x plus 2s and then some more x plus 2s, that can be written like this, because when you think backwards, this would be alpha lots of x plus 2 plus beta lots of x plus 2, which is what that says. So we've got 12x lots of 2x plus 1 minus 4 lots of 2x plus 1. Altogether, 12x minus 4 lots of 2x plus 1. Now, the question does actually say fully factorise. And what that means is that we have to notice that in the question and think about it, because we've got a common factor here of 4. And if you don't pull out that 4, then you're not going to be fully factorising, which means that you're not doing what was required in the question. Okay, let's put that in this box because that's something that students often forget. Fully factorise means also pull out common factors, numbers, basically. Okay, now the trick. What you can do is, I'll do it on both my calculators to show you the 2 different methods, although they are basically the same. In both calculators, you're going to go into the polynomial solving menu, which is menu A. So menu alpha A, and on this one, menu alpha A, same thing. Here I'm going to choose F2 for polynomial, and here I'm choosing 2 for polynomial. And the polynomial that I'm trying to solve here is a quadratic, so that's degree 2, but you could do cubic, quartic, quintic, whatever that one's called. So degree 2, degree 2. Now you'll see you've got the same thing on both calculators, and what you're going to do is put in the coefficients, and it's going to solve it for you. So our coefficients are 24, 4, minus 4. So 24, exe, 4, minus 4. And on this one, same, 24, 4, minus 4. And then on this one, you press F1 for solve. And on this one, you press equals for solve. And you get the first solution, a third. And then you press it again, you get the second solution, minus a half. Okay, so a third and minus a half. So we know, use calculator to solve quadratic equals 0. Okay, so what have we found out? We found out that one of the roots is a third and one of the roots is minus a half. Now, what we're going to do is go kind of upwards from the roots to the factors, whereas we usually go downwards from the factors to the roots. If we multiply both sides by 3 and then subtract the 1, there's that factor. And if we multiply both sides by 2 and add the 1, there's that factor. But this is what you have to be careful of. If you do cheat, it's not really cheating, you are allowed to do it. But if you do cheat, be careful, because you might have lost that coefficient at the front. So the roots are a third and minus a half, that's the two factors, but this quadratic had a common factor of 4, which means we need it out the front. You can still do the cheat, because you can just look at it without the 4 there and think, well, that doesn't work, does it? I need a 4 at the front. And then you just put the 4 at the front. So you might have lost a common factor. Okay, this one slightly harder, but a lot more fun. Let's try pulling out a common factor. Now, you might be looking at this and thinking that there isn't a common factor, but actually there is. There's two. In fact, there's whatever common factor I want. So I'm going to pull out the common factor x minus 1 to the half. You might be thinking that's not a common factor, it's only there, but I'll show you that it is in both places, in fact. And what we're going to be doing here is using the rules of indices. We need to be so proficient in these rules of indices. So we're going to be using those rules of indices throughout this, well, throughout once we're going to be using it, but it's a good little trick. So this one here, this is already written in the form that I want, x minus 1 to the half minus. Now here, what I want is an x minus 1 to the half, so I can pull it out. So I can just have it, provided I then compensate using the rules of indices and write something here that makes it actually true that that's the same as this. So, which rule of indices do I need? X to the a times x to the b is x to the a plus b. That's what I'm going to use. Now, if I've got a total of minus a half, and I've got a half here, then to make that true, I need to put minus 1. Now I've got the common factor, I can pull it out, x minus 1 to the half, big square brackets, what's left inside is x, that's the remaining term here, and then 1 over x minus 1. You could write it as x minus 1 to the minus 1, or you could write it as 1 over, because this means 1 over. Now, I could do some more work on that, but I just wanted to show you how you pull it out. Now I'm going to pull out x minus 1 to the minus a half, just to show you that you could do it the other way. You could say, I want that to be my common factor. So let's do it that way. X, now I've got to make this say x minus 1 to the minus a half, but it needs to still be true using the rule of indices again. This would have to, if I've got minus a half there, I want it to be a half, I'd need another 1, because they add up to that. This one obviously is in the right form already, nothing I need to do with that. I can now pull out this factor here, him and him. Big square bracket, that's what's left in the first term, minus 1 is what's left in the second term. So in both cases, I've managed to factorize this, even though it looked like there wasn't a common factor. How do we check it? Always, 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 always check. If I think this is the same as this, or this is the same as this, or this is the same as this, then I can sub in an x to the before and after, whatever x you like. I use 2.5 to check that it is actually the same. And very last thing before I forget is, how do we factorize these two? Sometimes students actually get used to factorizing 3-term quadratics, and then when they have a 2-term quadratic, they don't know what to do. So 2 terms could be a squared and an x, or squareds and numbers. If it's squareds and x, it's actually super easy. You're just going to pull out that x. That's it. If it's squareds and numbers, then you can use the difference of 2 squares. So this would be ax minus b, ax plus b. And it's always worth remembering that 2-term quadratics can always be factorized, whereas 3-term, well, can always be factorised. These two, you can always pull out an X. This one, you can usually write it in this form, depends on the numbers, but factorising is, when there's 3 terms, is a lot harder.